Today we are going to be discussing on how to write an abstract for a project, a thesis, or a dissertation. So it is not a hidden knowledge that anybody that want to graduate from a program, be it a BSc program, a national diploma program, a HND program, postgraduate programs, PhD, and all other academic qualifications, need to write a project. And one integral part of this project is the abstract. Abstract is simply the summary of your entire research work. In one page, a visitor can just look at the abstract and know what your entire project is talking about. It is a mini version of your paper. The abstract tells the reader the work you have done. Wikipedia defined abstract as a brief summary of a research article, thesis, review, conference, proceedings, or any in-depth analysis of a particular subject, and is often used to help the reader quickly ascertain the paper's purpose. So the abstract always explain beforehand. You don't need to read the entire project. You don't need to read the entire research report. Once you just look at the abstract, you will be able to have an in-depth analysis of what the topic is talking about. So, however, so many people are finding it difficult to write this all-important aspect of a thesis. In this video, I'm going to be walking you through how you'll be able to write your abstract like a pro. So there are certain guidelines you need to follow. You need to understand some things. There are certain ingredients. There are certain things that an abstract need to have. A project abstract, the first thing you need to have is you need to know the topic and the study area. In writing your abstract, the first thing you need to do is to state the topic and the study area. The abstract must cover the topic the researcher intends to research and the study area. For example, you can start your research like this. The study seeks to examine the effect of teaching material on biology students' retention and interest using Katsina local government as a case study. Now, this sentence have captured the topic and where the researcher intends to do his work. Number 2, objective of the study. The objective of the study is another major thing that need to be mentioned in the abstract. Sometimes you just mention the number of objectives you have, and in this same vein, you need to write the number of objectives you have, the number of your research questions, and the number of your research hypothesis. So you can go like this. The research was guided by 6 objectives, 6 research questions, and 6 hypotheses. All this must be stated in your abstract. Now, you need to state that relevant literatures, because a project is not supposed to be your own effort. You have what we call in the chapter 2 literature review. You review other people's work. So in the abstract, we are expecting you to say that several relevant literatures were reviewed to form the literature. Also, relevant theories and empirical studies were reviewed. This can be put in a form of a sentence to form the abstract. Several relevant literatures were to form the literature review for the work. Also, relevant theories and empirical studies were reviewed. Now, the next thing you need to state in your research is your research design. Now, your research every study has its own unique design adopted. In another video, I'm going to be explaining some of these things for you to understand. But every research work has its own, so the researcher must state in the abstract the research design used for the project. Now, the population of the study. Also, in the abstract, the researcher is expected to state clearly what covers his population. This can also be made in form of a statement. So, also, the researcher needs to cover the sample he used. All these terms will be explained in other related videos, but all these are put in form of a statement. And we are going to be looking at examples in a project, how the project covers all these things. Also, the sampling techniques used. There are several sampling techniques. The researcher must state the particular technique he used to arrive at the sample he's using out of the population. Now, you may need to go ahead and state your instrumentations. Also, in the abstract, the researcher is expected to state the instrument he or she used to collect and gather the data for the research work. Also, it's expected that the validity and the reliability of the instrument tested should be stated. He can go ahead to state the procedure he employed to analyze the data. What procedure did you use to analyze the data that you got? Also, it is expected that he should put major findings. At least you can pick 2 or 3 major findings that you got. And also, it is encouraged to put at the end of the abstract, you can mention some of the recommendations that the study profile. So, looking at an example, I would like us to take a project and we look at its abstract. This is one project that assessment of the impact of resource management on student academic performance in secondary schools in Zaria and Giwa Educational Zone, Kaduna State, Nigeria, by Faisal Ahmed Imam from Bayero ABU, Ahmadu Bello University, Kaduna. The project was done in 2017. So, in his abstract, so this is his abstract. So let's look at how he covered the things that are supposed to be covered. Number 1, this abstract started with, this study assessed the impact of resource management on students' performance in secondary schools in Zaria and Giwa Educational Zones in Kaduna State. So, he has captured the topic, which is one of the first major components of the research. He said the study was carried out with 6 objectives, which includes, so in this brothers Imam's project, he states the objectives, but some people think you can go ahead and state that 6 objectives were used, not necessarily putting the objective, but in his own case he put the objective, so you can mention the objectives you use, that which include this. Look at them. He outlined the objective and to find out the impact of curriculum content on student performance in public secondary schools in Zaria and Giwa Educational Zones in Kaduna State. So now he went ahead and said the study adopted descriptive survey design. So he stated the design he used. Now, Going forward, he checked the population. The population of the study is made up of 1,857 respondents, comprising 81 principals and 1,755 teachers and 21 supervisors. Now, this is what constituted his population. He stated it in the abstract. Also, he stated the sample size of 25 principals, 527 teachers, and 7 supervisors were used as the sample. So he had a total of 559 respondents. The sample size was around. So now he has explained also the technique he used, the sampling technique, which is stratified sampling technique. Also, now he went further to state the instrument he used. The instrument used for the data collection in this study is questionnaire, and it was duly validated by research supervisors, language experts, and statisticians. So this, he is now stating the validity of his instrument. Now, the reliability of the instrument was determined using Cronbach alpha technique, which showed a reliability index of 0.084. So now he stated the validity here, the validity, and he stated the reliability. So follow me, let's go and you see. Now he said the biodata of the respondents were analyzed using descriptive statistics in the form of tables, frequency distributions, and percentages to present and describe the pattern of the demographic characteristics of the respondents. In order to answer the research questions, mean and standard deviation was used, while the 6 null hypotheses were analyzed using analysis ANOVA. So now he is telling you the statistical tool he used to analyze his data. If you go forward, you see that he states findings from the study. Now he's mentioning few of his findings, and at the end of it, you will see that he mentioned some recommendations. So if you follow this step and you do this correctly, you will have a good abstract. Thank you very much. You can follow us for more enlightening and interesting videos on your research work.